In life, we often chase after the big things: grand success, endless wealth, and perfection in relationships. But what if true happiness isn't found in having it all, but in appreciating what we already have? Today's story, The Quarter Loaf of Love, is a heartwarming lesson about love, contentment, and the beauty of simplicity. If you've ever felt like life isn't giving you enough, this story will remind you that sometimes less is truly more. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village, there lived a humble baker named Tomas. He was a simple man who rose with the sun to bake bread for the village, always wearing a warm smile. Despite having little in terms of wealth or material possessions, Tomas was known for his unshakable happiness. One day, a traveler passing through the village noticed Tomas's contentment. Curious, the traveler asked, "Tomas, you live such a modest life. How is it that you are so happy with so little? Don't you ever wish for more?" Tomas chuckled and handed the traveler a piece of fresh bread. "My friend," he said, "I've learned that whoever is satisfied with a quarter of a loaf of bread will be happy. It's not about having everything, but appreciating what you do have." Intrigued, the traveler asked Tomas to explain. Tomas sat down and began to tell the story of his greatest life lesson. Years ago, Tomas had been in love with a beautiful woman named Elena. They had big dreams of building a life together, but Tomas constantly worried that his modest income as a baker wasn't enough. He thought that he needed more money, a bigger house, and greater success before he could truly offer Elena a happy life. But one day, Elena sat him down and said, "Tomas, I don't need riches or a grand house. What I need is you, just as you are. A loaf of bread shared with you is worth more than a banquet without you. If we can be content with less, we'll always have more than enough." In that moment, Tomas realized the wisdom in Elena's words. He understood that happiness wasn't about what you had, but about who you had and how much love you shared. From then on, he stopped chasing after more and started cherishing the simple joys of life, like a loaf of bread shared with someone you love. Years later, even after Elena had passed away, Tomas carried her wisdom in his heart. He continued to bake bread, not for riches, but for the joy of sharing it with others. And each time he saw a couple share a simple meal, he smiled, knowing that true happiness isn't in the abundance of things, but in the depth of love. The traveler, moved by Tomas's story, nodded in understanding. He realized that life satisfaction wasn't found in having it all, but in being grateful for what you already have. The traveler left the village that day, carrying more than just bread. He carried a lesson in love and life. And so, the story of Tomas teaches us a timeless truth. Love and happiness are not about how much we possess, but how deeply we appreciate what we have. Whether it's a quarter loaf of bread or a simple life with someone you love, contentment comes from within. Next time you feel like you're missing something, remember this: gratitude and love can turn even the smallest things into treasures. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the power of simplicity, let us know in the comments below. What's something small in your life that brings you joy? Don't forget to subscribe for more heartwarming stories and motivational content to lift your spirit.